because of the canons of journalism, I can't reveal that person's name, okay? And the thing is, why is the mayor, Lightfoot of Chicago, Illinois, insisting that the children go back to school in the pandemic? The numbers are going up. Is she thinking about the contracts for the people that got the milk, the paper clips, the newspapers, the light bulbs? Is that what she's thinking about? Why? I want to pose that to both of y'all. Why?
Well, the first thing you do, the state finances every student in the state of Illinois.
Okay.
It allows them so much credits. Mm-hmm. And that's further supported by when they had the lockdown for that whole year. Mm-hmm. The way the schools, how they made that money up. The state didn't give them that money. For the schools that was closed down, that means nobody got any money from the state that pays the salaries of the teachers here, one of the things, but mainly the students. So they get a certain allocation, maybe 5, I don't know how many. So those students are not showing up. The state does not get that type of money. Wow. So when they closed the schools down for that year, they was in deep water. And what happened was the Senate and the Congress funded, it was called the COVID bill. And they got, I don't know, $100 billion, more like $2 or $3 trillion for the schools, for the states to refund the money. Because when you listen, in let's say it this way, over 5,000 years of history, there's never been a government, I don't care, in Africa, Europe, anywhere, that actually shut down the government for almost 6 months.
Yes, sir.
I mean, shut it down. No salary, no taxes being collected, no nothing. You just totally shut it down. Stock market, everything went bust.
Yes, sir.
So the feds had to come in, create a whole bunch of money to bail it out of the system. Else would have been in deep doo-doo, and we still are in deep doo-doo. So that's how they had to get the money to refund the schools system that actually didn't have any money from the state because they all broke. So the federal government gave them that money. So they said, listen, get them kids back in school so that we can get the funding. Other than that, that's it. And that's the reason why they won't shut down again.
Did y'all hear that? It ain't about the kids.
It's about this money that the states get.
It's about them Benjamins. Some of
It's about the Benjamins.
Put out some dollar bills and show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, you might say I'm being ignorant. It ain't about the love for the kids.
Listen, if that money went to zero, which we are.
Okay.
And by that, I'm simply mean this. Varied. You don't have to know nothing about finance, economics 101. Just go to the supermarket. And anybody that went to the supermarket the last 6 months, you've seen the cost of living going up.
Yes, and I agree.
And what do you think? Are they doing it for the contracts? Because they are for the love of the kids. What are they doing?
I agree with the points raised by Dr. Warren. He's absolutely correct. I saw some funny things too. And it's just kind of odd. I mean, you notice that the price of goods and services have went up. You know, I was going to the dollar store. Things used to be $1, now it's $1.25.
Right.
You know, so come on now. I mean, they're playing games and stuff like that. And the problem is that if this okay, here you have the Trump and Pence administration back in 2019, during the fall of 2019. They found out about this virus. They were told by people from the intelligence community there's a virus that's having a negative, debilitating impact on people's health in China. Particularly, I think it was Wuhan, China, right? So there were people who were dying, and they were dying something, and they said it was similar to like the flu and stuff.
Excuse me for a second. Can y'all put the telephone number to give people the ability to call in if they choose to, please? Go ahead, brother.
Sure, no problem. And so when this all was going on in China, and the U.S. government knew about it, they failed to take the proper action and stuff like that. Not sure whether it was intentional or whatever, but knowing Trump, maybe that was a Garvey slip, I'm sorry. But Donald Trump, the so-called president of the United States, made a decision not to inform the people, the public, because he said they would cause a panic. He knew about it. He even admitted to Bob Woodward, who wrote the book Peril. Now, if you read the book Peril, as well as other book by Bob Woodward about Donald Trump, Rage, R-A-G-E, as well as other works by Bob Woodward in the past year and a half, 2 years. Here you had Donald Trump doing the interview. He admits that he knew about the virus. He said, you can inhale and get it.
But,
Okay.
excuse me. I wanted to ask, let me ask you again. Do you think that they're sending the children back to school in Chicago for the love of them to make money?
Yeah, it's about making money, but also I'm trying to answer your question. I'm just saying that that's where it started. I'm just saying then you saw the breakdown somewhere like in February, March I found out about, in 2020 I found out about it. But it was about money. It was about money and contracts and jobs, just like Dr. Warren said, because I saw it too. I saw some funny stuff going on because they were contradictory. See, the problem I have is that they're inconsistent. You know, these people are chronic, habitual, pathological liars.
Okay.
So they constantly go back and forth. They oscillate between this and that. You know, they go back and forth, back. I'm like, what can you believe? You know what I'm saying? I'm confused. And I do a lot of research. I'm like, okay, they said this, okay, you isolate yourself, you self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Then you said, no, but then you can come back and say you can quarantine for 5 days. Am I right or wrong? Didn't they just do the research?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, I'm trying to figure out, well, what is going on? They said you can mask up, okay? Then you say you have to maintain so-called social distancing or physical distancing, right?
Yes.
Then wear the mask and then hand sanitizer. You remember all the stuff that's sold out in the stores? You couldn't get no pamper, you couldn't get no handy people, you pamper, everything. Handy wipes, hand sanitizer, rubbing alcohol, paper towels, toilet paper, soap, bottles of water. It was just gone. I mean, it's ridiculous. Then they were telling you only can take so many bottles of water. You know, you can't take 30. You got to take 15. You see that kind of stuff. So you had them doing that. Doing that kind of stuff. So it's about money, contracts, and jobs. One, people need to be aware of what's going on, because look at how the other governments handle it. Look what they did in Cuba. How many people in Cuba? And if you go to Democracy Now!, the program, and it'll show you that less than 1,000 people have it. So what are they doing? Then you go to different parts of Africa where you have something called COVID organics in Madagascar. COVID organics, where the president of Madagascar, this was about 2 years ago, this is in time of Newsweek magazine, around May of 2020 or something. The guy, he said the president is drinking the COVID organics. The organics is a drink made from African healing herbs. The people who got it, who had malaria, and they did a study, they researched, said, okay, the people who have malaria have their symptoms similar to like those who have COVID, so what we do, we'll give those who have COVID this drink and stuff, right? They drank it and they recovered. So, and there's a COVID organics capsules or pills that you get also, right? So they're playing games. Anthony Fauci is a part of this game, it's a system. And what they have is an academic military intelligence complex. It's like the military intelligence complex, a military industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about years ago. You have this. See, what we do, we live in a plutocracy. We don't live in a democracy.
I don't know what plutocracy
is. A plutocracy is a government run by the wealthy. It's plutocrats that run the world. They're the ones who are involved in the eugenics movement. They're the ones who are trying to depopulate. They're the ones part of the Pioneer Fund, Zero Population Growth Group, put out the humanist magazines. They're part of all kinds of trial commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Club of Rome, the Paris Club. These are the people that run and control stuff, and they're trying to control the population. Because white folks, they're not having children as rapidly as others, and that's why Ben Wattenberg and them wrote the book, Birth Dearth. Okay. Dearth means lack of, right? Ben Wattenberg and people and his colleague, well, they wrote this book, and they both were part of the American Enterprise Institute, a think tank. And they came out, they said, we got to come up with ways where white folks increase their population. So they published this book, The Birth Dearth, to tell white people, hey, the Negroes are they're out screwing us, doing everything, having children, and other people who are not European are having more children, and there's power in numbers. Yeah, so I'll stop right there.
I want to tell somebody, you know what, this is a live show, and you know what I'm noticing? The telephone number is not going up. But I believe that sometimes these things are done by design.
Maybe you should announce it.
Okay.
Mention the number.
So I don't know why they're not putting the telephone number up. But it's okay. Because you know what? Allah's in control. Okay. And if I had it, I would write it down. I would be saying it, but it usually goes up. But see, there are always people working against the best interests of the people. And that's okay.
It's okay.
But I want to ask something to pose to you and Dr. Lee Warren. And you know what? My question is to you that they are working on setting up almost a dictatorial, a totalitarian government within the United States of America. And they're making it to get the climate so bad to where you want the National Guards to come in to police the people where it be acceptable to them. Are they doing that, or is it a figment of my imagination that they want to use? Because the aldermen have said they have want the National Guards to come in, and the people are starting. So, what do you think about that?